Well, I'm looking a little different. Well, somewhat, I guess. Sir Disney here, and it is Monday morning, and I'm sorry it's taken this long to get this out. We've been really busy here at Pop Central lately, and a lot of filming was done, and there wasn't much time to do anything, so I decided to shoot this video out to you guys tonight, and then I'll do Raw tomorrow, so we can get both recaps fresh in my mind as we progress into the week. So, oh yeah, real quick, before I get started, the Crystal Light drinking game is back. Glorious. Now, okay. Hope you like the hair. I think it looks better. It's shorter. It's a lot fuller. It's like smoother. It's silkier, I guess, whatever. So, there's always that. Housekeeping. Haven't seen me for a while, have you? Housekeeping is going to be done as followed. We have a lot, and I do mean a lot of AJ content posted over the weekend. We had the movie reviews of The Lone Ranger and Despicable Me 2. You can check those out. We have the new Versus, which was Halloween versus Scream. You can check that out. And you also can check out the first video of the Summer of Tarantino, which will be Reservoir Dogs. Now, this coming week, we have, looks to be 5 movies, plus a Versus, plus the Summer of Tarantino. So, it's going to be a really packed week. Definitely a packed weekend, without question. So yesterday, I want to talk about this real quick. Yesterday, AJ and I decided to go to Athens to watch The East and the Kings of Summer. So, they're not packed by any stretch of the imagination, but they do have a few people in it, and it's a lot more people than I would expect in a town that's pretty much dead during a 2 o'clock showing. But, we get there, we sit down, and there's people all around us. There's these ladies that won't stop talking behind us the whole time, and they really annoyed me. And then in front, like down front, like we're in the college auditorium. I believe it's the Ruth Bradley Theater. That's what it is. We like to call it the college auditorium because it looks like a college auditorium. Actually, it looks a lot like the same setup that was used in Urban Legends. So, Urban Legend, sorry, long day. The movie Urban Legend. You know, the one with Josh Jackson where he ended up falling down after he drinks the soda while eating Pop Rocks. So, there's always that. Anyway, college auditorium. So, it's tiered. So, we set up to the top, and then there's like pseudo-stadium style seating. At least it's like elevated a little bit. And then there's the walkway, and then there's a wall. And underneath that is more seating. Well, I don't see a reason why I'd ever sit down there, unless you want to get an eyeful, I guess. But people do sit down there, and there's some obnoxious people there, too. So, we're watching the movie, and I'll be totally honest with you guys, I really wasn't really into it to start with. I mean, the first scene is really awesome. I like the setup for the movie. But it kind of lulled me to sleep. And I napped. I'm not gonna lie, I don't care. I napped. So, we get, I don't know how long we're in. We're about 25 minutes in the movie, give or take. I don't know, I could have slept longer, who knows. And all of a sudden, the screen goes green. And a projection issue makes us turn off the movie. So, needless to say, we were not able to fully watch The East. So, basically, they were really apologetic about everything. They were really awesome people. Everyone I talked to that day was really cool. And, they basically offered, like, free concessions and free tickets and get your money back and just, like, to smooth everything over. And that's awesome. That's how things should be done. But, the problem was, the movie that we were getting ready to watch next would be The Kings of Summer, which had already started, so I was not able to convince AJ to stay through that. and he decided we were going to go back. So we ended up hanging out around Athens, which, my God, I complain about Parkersburg having nothing to do. Athens, there's like nothing to do. I mean, we went to the Big Lots and Walmart. Yeah, that was my day. So we did that, and both places were packed due to the fact that, I don't know, there's nothing to do in Athens. So, needless to say, we came back to the theater, watched The Kings of Summer, which, not bad, decent movie for what it was. We'll talk about that on Friday. So, AJ decided we're going to go back on Tuesday and watch The East again. So, maybe if I get a fresh perspective on it, I'm not half asleep when I'm watching it, maybe we'll be fine. So, also, it sounds like we're going to be going to B-Dubs anyway on Tuesday night because we're going to go to the B-Dubs in Athens. So, interesting to check that out because I've never been to the B-Dubs in Athens yet. Given the fact it's right down the road from the theater, it makes it really easy to get to. It's definitely within walking distance, so that's a plus there. DVC points. Well, not sure. eBay right now has been my best friend. There is a gentleman on eBay that's selling 20 points. And started the bet out at $100, so I bid, and he closed it. And he's like, okay, $200, and then I was like, nah, that's too much. I mean, I know it's $10 a point, that's what I'd be paying anyway. But I'm trying to get these points for cheaper. So he posts another bid, and as of this moment, as of 1:40 p.m. on Monday afternoon, I am leading the bidding for 20 DVC points for $56. Yes. I am paying 20 points via $56. I'm paying like 3 something a point, right? I don't know. Let's calculate that real quick. Sorry. I'm really curious about how much that is. So talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. And the topic is how awesome I am. Yeah, $2.80 a point would be what I would be doing if this ends up going through. I don't know if it will. I still got until the 12th, which is 4 days, so hopefully I get these points, because I really need them right now. And everybody is saying that Grand Floridian is sold out for December, the whole month. So I'm getting kind of nervous about my first day for reunion this year. I really want to stay at the Grand Floridian. It doesn't look like my Bay Lake Tower waitlist is going to come through unless I get a last-minute miracle. So, as of August 4th, it looks like I'm going to be on 2 wait lists. But, there's always that. So, hopefully I can work things out. Alright, so, we got a new segment coming to pop starting in September. Summer of Tarantino will got a brand new segment where AJ is going to be discussing television shows. And, we don't really know exactly how it's going to work yet. Talking about seasons, he's been watching seasons of television shows, like, on the regular lately. So, needless to say, we've got a lot of stuff going on with television and AJ, so we're probably going to make that into a segment starting in September. And, of course, September will be into October, and October means all the verses for the month of October will be horror-themed, given the fact that it's October. And we might end up going into, like, an Alfred Hitchcock segment. So, Summer of Tarantino might end up going into Alfred Hitchcock. So, we'll figure that out. I'll talk to AJ about it. Another reason I'm doing this video today, and didn't do it over the weekend, is the fact that I even had these notes on Saturday. But, because I got NXT earlier, and I was able to watch SmackDown live on Friday night because I worked till 6, and after that, Mom and I went out for a last meal. She actually left Saturday. Oh, sorry, long day. She left yesterday, and she's going to be gone until August 11th as of right now. She right now is in Clarksville, Tennessee, and she's going to shift over to some stops in Richmond and Philly, and eventually she's going to end up in Anchorage, Alaska. So yeah, my mom is traveling, and so I got the house to myself. Got a lot of groceries, and I'm just going to chill here at Pop Central, and hopefully everything works just fine. So, we've got a lot of things still to come this month, and a lot of awesome content from Pop. Molly's back now, so hopefully I can talk to her. I'm looking at Wednesday, maybe. Actually, I'm going to try to elicit a potential ride to work from her on Wednesday, if it's all possible. So hopefully I'll talk to her and see if there's any way I can get a ride to work on Wednesday, and then we can talk some business, obviously, to try to get a segment out to you guys as soon as possible, because she's been gone for a long time now. She's back. Hopefully we can work on some new segments. Ben should be joining me later tonight, as of right now, unless something changes in the next, who knows how long. Ben should be here at about 6:30, 7 o'clock-ish, something in that time frame. So Ben will be getting you some content. Will may or may not be here tonight, so that's another reason I'm not completely sure about. And I don't know, I should probably put this video out today because it gives you content for today, and I don't want to, rest on my laurels and make Raw the video for today. It's going to be tomorrow's video, so, yeah. So, basically, that's what we've got going on right now. Things are things right now. Work is, it's interesting. And money is getting a little bit better, but still, it's not quite there yet. I mean, the paychecks are getting there, that's good. But I still gotta pay credit cards off. I still gotta pay off September. I gotta pay off reunion. I gotta pay off a lot of things right now. So I'm pretty much paying interest on a credit card at this moment. That's how it works, I guess. So, well, I'm sure you guys didn't want to hear me chat about just randomness. And it's not really randomness. It's basically talking about what's going on. Or watch me drink a Gatorade bottle of Crystal Light. No, you want to hear about what happened this week on NXT and Smackdown. So let's talk about NXT first, shall we? So NXT basically starts off with Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is doing an interview segment. He says he doesn't care who it is. All of his Bo Leavers. I thought Believers was bad. Bo Leavers I think is worse. They know he'll defend the championship at any time, any place, against any challenger. So if Leo Kruger wants a title shot, all he has to do is earn that opportunity. Because obviously Bo Dallas is a fighting champion, but he's not going to throw out just random title shots to someone he doesn't deem worthy. I somewhat understand that. Here comes Antonio Cesaro. And he comes out and he says he's earned everything the hard way. Yeah, that's an understatement. Young punks like you are the downfall of our country. Tonight, I'll bring the prestige back to the NXT Championship when I take it from you. No more handouts, and no more Bo. We the people. Yeah, so he's doing the We the People shtick on NXT now, and I like this. I like how it works. And I think that there's going to be another member of We the People that's going to, or I guess we'll call him Zeb. Zeb's Militia, Zeb Coulter's Militia, depending on how you want to call them. I'm saying right now that I think there will be another person, at least involved with NXT, that's going to be fighting the good fight, if you will. So, but we'll talk about that later. We start off the show with a semi-final matchup in the NXT Women's Championship Tournament as useless Alicia Fox takes on the anti-diva herself, Paige. And this match was alright, actually. I'll say right now, and I said this before, I'll say it again, Alicia Fox is not a good wrestler at all. But there's times that she can actually surprise me. And her Northern Light suplex she's been using a lot lately, that kind of surprises me a bit. But I don't like Alicia Fox in the ring. She's really, really nice to look at. She's a really attractive woman, but I don't like her in the ring at all. Paige, on the other hand, is completely different. She has the mixture of both beauty and talent, so I think that it works really well for her. And we'll start off with the middle of the match like we always do here on Pop. So a Northern Light suplex, the aforementioned one I just mentioned a little bit ago, and gets a 2 count out of it. She makes a lateral press, and Paige kicks out at 1. So she chokes her with the knee, the patella right across the throat, and then she snapmares into her chin lock. Well, Paige fights up, and she gets nailed with a nice back elbow that takes her back down for another 2 count. So it goes back to the chin lock with the knee firmly planted between the shoulder blades. Kind of like a chin lock mixture with a kind of like a surfboard chin lock, basically is what it is. And Paige breaks it out with a jawbreaker, and she ducks the clothesline and a hair mare, actually a couple of those. 3 knee strikes while on the ropes, kind of like basically like knee strike versions of Kawada kicks. So Fox with a drop kick for a 2 count, and eventually they go back and forth, and Paige ends up nailing the Paige Turner for the 1-2-3. So it came out of nowhere, really. And Paige advances to the finals in the NXT Women's Championship Tournament, and she'll face the winner of next week's Summer Rae Emma battle to determine who her opponent is going to be in the finals in 2 weeks. So I don't have a problem with this, because Paige is a homegrown NXT talent, and someone that the WWE Divas division desperately needs right now. But we'll get to that later. We get another squash match with Conor O'Brien with, of course, Rick Victor, which means they're basically reforming the Ascension with Rick Victor and Conor O'Brien. I'm still saying right now, and I've said it over and over again, I'm going to say it once more, Conor O'Brien is not a very menacing sounding name. It doesn't strike terror in my heart. Now, when I look at this guy, overall, he's a beastly looking gentleman. He really is. And he's a monster. He is like a genetic freak, and we'll go with that. But the problem is, when you see that chyron that comes up that says his name is Conor O'Brien, you kind of lose a little bit of that intensity. He still has it, obviously, but that name just gotta go. Call him something else. I don't care what it is. Conor O'Brien, really? But he does put on that intensity factor, and it works really, really well. The thing about it is, I like his tandem with Rick Victor, but we've not seen them as a tag team yet. I think once the Wyatt family departs NXT, after they lose the NXT Tag Team Championships, and I'm not going to say who they lose them to, but I'm pretty sure you can figure it out. Spoiler. So, when that happens, obviously you're going to have a heel team go after the belts, and you've got Scott Dawson and Garrett Dillon, who we'll see later on in the show, and then you've got the Ascension. So, these are people that will be gunning after the NXT Tag Team Championships. So, we'll talk about that in a minute. So, apparently, Cassius Ohno is out of action. The attack from the Wyatt family last week put him on the shelf. So Ohno's not going to be on television for a while. And that leads me to think that's a very good possibility Ohno's going to be brought up to WWE's roster sooner rather than later. And again, I don't have a problem with that. I'm a big Ohno supporter. I was a big Chris Hero fan. And I really want to see Ohno in WWE. Do I think he fits We the People? No. But I guess he could. I mean, the guy's from, he's from Ohio, so that's the storyline we go with. I don't really know how you would bring the Kings of Wrestling into We the People, but, you could. You really easily. Or you can have the, Ohno be the secret weapon of whomever is going after We the People. I think what they need to do, I think you put Alberto Del Rio in with Swagger's group. You put Del Rio, Swagger, Cesaro in together, right? So they ended up facing off against, Rey Mysterio ends up getting this group together. So Rey Mysterio is getting this group together with Sin Cara, and you can throw Ohno in that group as well. So Ohno is the secret weapon that knows Cesaro better than anyone else does and can take it to him. So maybe Dolph Ziggler could lead this group. This could be a Survivor Series match, actually. I think this would be a great Survivor Series match. Like, you do Rey Mysterio, Sin Cara, Cassius Ohno, and Dolph Ziggler is the captain, taking on, of course, We the People, which is Jack Swagger, Antonio Cesaro, Alberto Del Rio, and Leo Kruger, who is brought up to TV by that time as well. I like that idea. I really do like that idea. So, because of Ohno being out of action, him and Corey Graves earned a NXT Tag Team title shot against the Wyatt family. But, because of him being out of action, Graves has to find a new partner. And he does in the likes of the man who gravity forgot, Adrian Neville. So, Neville and Graves are going to combine to try to take down the Wyatt family. And they're also trying to enlist the help of William Regal, who was also accosted by the Wyatt family at the end of last week's program. So, maybe we're going to get Regal Neville and Graves against the Wyatt family before they all officially go off television. I know that they are a part of NXT television for a while. I mean, I guess with the 4 weeks that they taped, which I'm not going to spoil any of it, even though I somewhat did, but not quite, because they didn't tell you who it was. So, I will say that the Wyatt family are still a part of it, and a couple of people are not, i.e. Ono and Biggie Lynx, and they're not seen at all in these tapings. So, I think we're going to get, during this last hurrah of the Wyatt family on NXT, we're going to do a lot more with it, and I think what we're leading towards is this big six-man with Regal, Neville, and Graves against the Wyatt family, and I think that's the direction we go. It's a good idea to go that way. So we get our next match of the evening, and it's singles action as Sylvester Lefort brings out one half of D Squared, which is Scott Dawson in this case, to take on Xavier Woods. Okay. I like this gimmick. I like this gimmick a lot. I really do. He's come a long way since he was Consequences, Creed, and TNA. He really has still kept the same gimmick, but he tweaked it and made it WWE style. So, Xavier Woods hits a satellite head scissor and only gets a 1 count out of it. Dawson kicks away, goes to the armbar. Dawson with a big right hand, and he tosses him over the top rope. He lands on the ring apron, of course. Shoulder thrust, and he sweeps the leg, and Xavier Woods nails the ring apron. So, he uses the ropes, and uses that rope-assisted facebuster. Whip in, back elbow, gets a 2 count. And he goes for a chin lock. It gets broken with a jawbreaker by Woods. So Woods gets some nice momentum, hits a flying forearm off the ropes, and a front drop kick. Yells, "It's morphin' time," and does his front flip kip up into a clothesline, and nails the Lost in the Woods for the 1, 2, 3. So that's the finish of the match. So the Lost in the Woods, of course, would, if you would know, it's Gail Kim's Eat Defeat is basically the best way I can put it. Or if you're a JCW fan, it's Kawabata's Kurt Cobain. So the next thing we get is Enzo Amore, who is basically kind of like, well, he's got the Jersey Shore, like, gimmick, but he's not cool like Zack Ryder, and he's not too, like, douchey to be not lovable like Robbie E. He's just a tool. He's just a massive, ginormous toolbox. He comes out with Colin Cassidy, and I said that, I wrote this in my notes, and I'm going to say it right now, that Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy desperately want to be Robbie E and Robbie T at this point. Back when, of course, they were teaming up in TNA. So, even to the point that Enzo Amore references Colin Cassidy as Big Cass. Big Cass and Enzo Amore. Actually, he calls him Zoe for short. Zoe and Big Cass. E and T, very, very, very close. So, Enzo back runs around. Of course, oh, by the way, he's facing Mason Ryan. He back runs, the bell rings, Ryan bowls up his fist and punches Amore's lights out and gets the pin. So after the match is over, he goes, "That was crap, I wasn't even ready." He won't get that lucky twice. Get at him, Cass. So Cassidy gets in the ring. And he ducks the clothesline right away. There's a boot, a whip, a clothesline, and whips him into the corner and kicks him, and then he nails the rebound lariat, which is off the opposite rope and connects with a clothesline. It's what Magnus has been doing lately. It's what Nigel McGuinness used to do too. He locks on a Shinanamaki, which is basically a version of the Cobra Clutch. And Shinanamaki into a slam and gets the 3 count out of it. So Mason Ryan pins 2 guys clean, and that's the segment. So we get our main event of the evening. Bo Dallas putting the NXT Championship on the line against Antonio Cesaro. So, right away, you could tell the Full Sail crowd absolutely despises Bo Dallas, because immediately we start getting a "We the People" chant. So Cesaro is a staunch heel in this match. He's an old school throwback. We've mentioned this over and over again here on Pop. And I will say right now that he getting cheered is obviously not something he's used to. And he didn't play against it either. He played with it. He basically used it to turn the crowd back against him. But he's against Bo Dallas, who is the most hated man on the roster. I'll say this right now. For this moment in NXT history, Bo Dallas is John Cena. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. Bo Dallas is John Cena. Here's what I mean by that. Okay. He's not as good as a wrestler as Cena. He's not as good at selling as Cena. He's definitely not as good as a promo as Cena. But, the kids and the women love Bo Dallas. The men in the crowd do not. So, needless to say, he is John Cena. No More Bo is the closest proximity we have now is, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Yeah, you know exactly what I mean. They hate Bo Dallas. Hate Bo Dallas, just like the WWE Universe, by and large, hates John Cena, unless you're a child or a woman. No offense to them, obviously there's women and children that don't like Bo Dallas and don't like John Cena, but pretty much they're the exception and not the rule. Drinking game is getting really fun. So, this match was actually pretty good. Let's talk about it right away. So, Leo Kruger comes out, and he's watching the match. Obviously, he's trying to scout Bo Dallas, given the fact that he's basically been tossed into contention for the championship without winning anything or doing anything to earn it. He's basically has made himself into contention for the NXT championship. Again, I don't have a problem with this. So, a chin lock is locked on by Cesaro, and he hits some knee strikes. He whips him in, and he nails him with a huge forearm to the jaw, but he only gets a 2 count out of it. So, he spinal taps him twice. Snapmares him, goes back to the chin lock. It's funny because this is a great way that Cesaro is an excellent heel. What he does, he snapmares him, because the fans are chanting one more time, after he hits the spinal tap, which is the kick to the lower back. So, what he does, he's seated, and instead of kicking him in the lower back, which he teases, he shows his true heelish ways by locking on the chin lock. So yeah, that's right. You're not getting what you want, fans. That's why Cesaro is so awesome. So Bo fights up to his feet. He elbows out of it, and a knee to the stomach, a whip in, ducks the clothesline, nails the flying forearm, does Bo Dallas. And he kicks Cesaro right at the side of the head and comes off with a big clothesline in the corner. Nails the swinging bulldog and... Actually, no. He goes for the regular bulldog in this case. I'm going too quick there. So he nails the bulldog, gets a 2 count out of it. A whip reverse back into the standing chin lock from Cesaro. He's been using this a lot lately, actually. He actually used it on Sami Zayn in their awesome match they had on NXT a couple weeks ago. If you have not seen Sami Zayn and Antonio Cesaro on NXT, go to YouTube right now and check it out. Put it on pause. Put this video on pause. I'll come back and I'll be like... And then I'll keep talking and everything will be fine. So, we're good on that. So, anyway, he goes right back into the corner... And a big slam, reversed, float over into a reverse DDT by Bo Dallas. Goes for the swinging bulldog, but instead of connecting like he normally does, Cesaro spins him around and crotches him right on the top rope. So, on top of this, he forearms him, he climbs up, and Cesaro gut wrenches him, and gut wrench superplexes Bo Dallas off the top rope. He goes for the cover 1, 2, and right at 3, he kicks away. Goes for a middle rope knee drop, gets a 2.5 count off of it, back to the chin lock. And he does the giant swing with it. So he looks like he's about to finish Bo Dallas off once and for all. And I'm sure all the fans are loving the daylights out of this. So he counters into a roll-up for 2.5. So Dallas almost wins it right there. A snap fall-away slam with a bridge for a 2 count from Cesaro. He grounds him with the forearms over and over again. He goes up top. And in true Kurt Angle fashion, Bo Dallas runs up there and catches him with a belly-to-belly throw off the top rope. So Leo Kruger jumps up on the ring apron for a distraction. So Cesaro gets sent into him, knocks him off the ring apron, and nails that judo throw side belly-to-belly suplex variant that he never hits the same twice and gets the 3 count out of it. So after the match is over, Kruger gets in the ring from behind, starts pounding away on the back. So he nails that reverse neck breaker into a face buster, the one that he used last week. And Cesaro comes in and nails Kruger. So the fans are like, yeah, this is awesome, and toss him out of the ring. Well, he starts forearming Bo over and over again. He grounds him, sits on him and just forearms him over and over again, just trying to destroy Bo Dallas. And nails the double boot stomp. So they trade blows. Kruger gets back into the ring, and they stare at each other. And then they start double teaming Bo Dallas. So they're beating the daylights out of him. All of a sudden, Sami Zayn comes out from the back, and he charges in for the save, and he battles Cesaro, and Dallas is battling Kruger, and they clear Cesaro and Kruger out of the ring, and they pretty much retreat up the ramp, and Sami Zayn shakes Bo Dallas' hand, and that's the end of NXT. Really good show. What did we learn today, boys and girls? Well, the crowd hates Bo Dallas. I think Bo Dallas is John Cena. Bo Dallas is NXT's John Cena, without question. I want to see Antonio Cesaro get a run with the NXT Championship, and I think it very well could happen. But then again, this is also probably to build Bo Dallas up. And beating someone as a world-class athlete as Antonio Cesaro definitely looks really good on the dance card of the current NXT champion. Paige beats Alicia Fox, which is awesome, which means the finals of the NXT tournament are going to be people that are 100% NXT born and bred. I don't have a problem with that at all. I like how this NXT Women's Championship has progressed, and I think that people now obviously we've seen Alicia Fox and Oksana, two completely useless people, but what about if NXT brought in, like I said, an Natalya Neidhart? I think that would be awesome. Maybe bring in maybe Sarah Del Rey in some way or another to go after Paige, or Emma or Summer Rae, depending on who wins. So, it could go either way. So, it just depends on who wins the championship. I know, but I'm not going to talk about it. So, we're interested to see who's going to face Paige, and we'll find out next week when Emma battles Summer Rae. So, we've got that. Conor O'Brien and Rick Victor are now the Ascension, and they have set their sights on the NXT Tag Team Championships. But they just want to destroy everything in their path along the way. I don't have a problem with that either. Xavier Woods gets the big win over Scott Dawson. I have a feeling he'll probably face Garrett Dillon eventually, if I had to guess. And eventually we're going to end up seeing Xavier Woods and, I think who you put in there. I would put Percy Watson in there if he was not, obviously fired. But, maybe Dante Dash, potentially, if they want to do something with Woods and Dash, put them together. They might do that. I don't know. Maybe bring in, maybe put him with Justin Gabriel, possibly, or Kofi Kingston, or just anything, really. I like Xavier Woods. I like to see them do something with him, but there's really nothing to do with him at the present time. Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy definitely want to be Robbie E and Robbie T from back in their run in TNA, and they get squashed like a bug by Mason Ryan. So I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, but it was alright for what it was. Cesaro got a great match out of Bo Dallas, and I was really happy with that. And I like this, I like what they're building to right now. It looks like it's going to be Cesaro and Kruger against Bo and Sami Zayn. And again, I don't have a problem with this at all. As long as it gets me another Sami Zayn, Antonio Cesaro match, Sir Owen's a happy guy. So, that was NXT. So, as I toss this and throw it away, let's talk about SmackDown. So, SmackDown starts off with a very special appearance from the best in the world himself, CM Punk. He says if he was John Cena, he'd give a heartfelt speech about the 4th of July. But, fortunately, his name is CM Punk. He has a different point of view than John Cena. July 4th means independence. Blazing your own trail, being your own man. And independence is very, very important to CM Punk. Give me rules, I'll break them. See, I walked away after WrestleMania. The chances of me winning Money in the Bank, they were against me. I'm a simple guy with simple needs and simple goals. I want to get my hands on Brock Lesnar. And I want to win that Money in the Bank All-Star Ladder match and once again become the WWE Champion. Here comes Alberto Del Rio. I was expecting more from you. And Punk's like, what do you want? And he's like, I am the world champion and this is my show. Punk has to retort, he's like, yeah, you are the world heavyweight champion, but this is not and never has been your show. What do you want? So, basically, Punk always making jokes. Your holidays are celebrated with hot dogs and hamburgers and french fries. Sitting and watching television all day long, just getting fatter. Playing with the internet, just getting fatter. They cheer a pig like Dolph Ziggler, raining on my Fiesta. They chant USA because they're nothing but sheep. Now wait a second. Punk has to retort. He's like, you know, you saw how yourself started that chant, right? Now you criticize everyone because they saw through all the BS? Come on. They see you now as the phony that you truly are. And so Del Rio retorts, he's like, Punk, you need to be taught some manners. I'm not a funny. I'm the champion. So Punk's like, congratulations, that means you're the #1 contender to my title. The best in the world. Del Rio's like, don't be stupid, Punk. I order you to leave right now. And Punk just laughs and was like, you know what, my gut says just to stay in the ring until you make me get out of the ring. Here comes Teddy Long. Gee, I wonder what match is coming up next. It's going to be a tag team match, playa. Or an impromptu match, or potentially a champion versus champion match. Champion versus champion, well, best in the world versus world heavyweight champion. Obviously, they're building towards this as a match. Teddy Long is like, hold on, slow your roll, playa, just 1 minute. We're going to have fireworks in the main event. Alberto Del Rio versus CM Punk tonight. And you know, basically, we get Paul Heyman and CM Punk after the commercial break, and Heyman makes a very valid point. You know, this match doesn't make any sense. Because, I mean, who knows? There could be injuries involved, and given the fact that we are very short time away from Money in the Bank, you don't need to get injured at this point. You don't need to be wasting your time with a throwaway match like this. And Punk's like, you know, Paul, I understand where you're coming from. I appreciate your looking out for me as a friend. But please, just do me a favor and stay out of it. So, that's where we get our first segment of the evening. So, get our first match of the evening. The Usos taking on the Rhodes Scholars, and the continuation of the Usos push rolls on down the road once again. So, given the fact that everyone thinks there's going to be collusion between the Rhodes Scholars, Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes basically set everything straight and say, you know what, may the best man win. And Cody retorts with, you know what, I couldn't agree more. You're welcome. Midway through the match, we get a side California leg sweep and the Kobito Akiette on Jimmy Uso for 2. Tagging to Cody Rhodes, and Cody nails the gourd buster or a front suplex, depending on how you want to call it. Nails the Ric Flair style knee drop, tag back into Sandow. There's a float over, and Cody gets backdropped on the ring apron. Savate kick, tag into Jey Uso, and they nail a double Samoan splash off the top ropes for the 3 count. The Shield gets on the Titantron. You know, you're very lucky. You think we're not invincible, but we're more focused than ever before. You better bring more than luck at Money in the Bank. So Ambrose says, this is what dominance looks like in 2013. I'm going to win at Money in the Bank. And whether anyone likes it or not, you're going to have a very focused Dean Ambrose holding a Money in the Bank contract briefcase. Believe that, and believe in the Shield. We'll see what happens at Money in the Bank. Next match, yay, I get 2 Alicia Fox matches to call in one show. Alicia Fox takes on Caitlyn, and Alicia Fox nails her a Northern Light suplex, and face first into the canvas for 2. So, a camel clutch variant is applied, and a hair pull takedown, there's a chin lock, snapmare, counter, back elbow, clothesline, and at this point, AJ skips down to the ring, looking gorgeous as always. shoulder block on Alicia Fox, and Caitlyn is not letting it get to her. So she gets nailed with a high kick from Alicia Fox, whips in, back elbow, and knocks AJ off the ring apron. Alicia Fox rolls her up from behind, stacks her up top, and steals the win. So after the match is over, Caitlyn chases AJ to the back, and the mind games continue. So we get Randy Orton and Christian there in the back, and they've had a very storied rivalry, especially on SmackDown, over the World Heavyweight Championship. Christian already beat Randy Orton in the past, and he's going to go on to win the Money in the Bank. And Orton says, you know what, Christian, you're about to find out firsthand tonight when I beat you in one more match. We get a final vignette that we saw on Raw as well, and it is the Wyatt family, and they will make their official in-ring debut on Raw, since it's Monday, tonight, and it's going to be awesome. So that was the opening of the show. So we've got our next match, which was Randy Orton taking on Christian, and this feud went forever ago, but luckily it's fresh because we haven't had it in a long time. Alright. Orton nails 3 kicks to the chest, goes for the snakebite DDT. Christian backdrops him over the top rope to the arena floor. So Orton misses the leaping knee drop, and a Fez press, pounding away on Christian. So Christian goes to the apron, neck snaps Orton when he tries to go over there. He goes up top, going for the flying body press, and he gets a 2 count out of it. Chin lock, he elbows out, a headbutt from Orton, whip into the corner chest first, you know, the high velocity whip, the one that Bret Hart used to take. So they're trading blows on their knees, and he goes off the ropes, and he gets caught with a big Orton dropkick. Vintage Orton, clothesline, duck the opponent's clothesline, snap Samoa Joe style clothesline, but the Samoa Joe style clothesline, Samoa Joe style power slam. The power slam this time is countered, and they go back to the corner, goes for the 10 punch, and it gets reversed. Whip in, charges in, there's a kick up top, and he drops down, so he jumps down off the top rope. Orton goes for a Canadian backbreaker and a reverse neck breaker, gets a 2 count out of it. Christian with a back kick. Back goes for the tip up, rolls him up for 2. He charges in, and Orton gets that snap power slam for a 2 count only. So both men are down, goes for the kill switch reverse into the RKO, countered into a backdrop suplex, and Christian readies for the spear. Orton gets up to his feet, and Christian spears Orton for a 2.5. So he goes for the kill switch, gets countered again, boot in the midsection, snakebite DDT. Christian throws off the RKO. He goes up top. He leaps over the body of Randy Orton, and Orton catches him with the RKO in 1, 2, 3. Really good match, actually. Good back and forth. A couple times in the match, there was a little bit of miscommunication. We'll just go with that. We'll go with miscommunication. The Joe style snap power slam, yeah, that didn't work the first time. That looked kind of bad, but it's okay. They covered it up well. They're like the professionals they are. We get our next match of the evening, Dolph Ziggler taking on Drew McIntyre, which means, obviously, tonight on Raw, Dolph will face off against Heath Slater, because he has to complete the 3-man band gauntlet. That's been done the last couple weeks. Drinking challenge complete. So, we go midway through the match. But before that, Dolph Ziggler gets on the mic and says, you know what, these last few months have been a blur. I'll never forget the night I beat Alberto Del Rio and became the World Heavyweight Champion the night after WrestleMania. But I just came back from a concussion. Del Rio took full advantage of it. And he beat me for that championship. I do remember Del Rio out here saying he loved America and all the fans in the WWE Universe. But you know what? He couldn't convince me. He couldn't convince anyone he was liked because, wow, long day. He couldn't convince anyone he was that likable because, you know what? He's full of crap. Senior bag of crap, Mad TV. So, I may be a lot of things. And I do have kind of a sizable chip on my shoulder. But every single night, I deliver. Unlike no other. And at Money in the Bank, I'm taking back the World Heavyweight Championship. Show off. So we get our match after we come back. There's a whip in and a military press from Drew McIntyre. Ziggler lands on his feet. He gets caught, and the turnbuckle powerbomb from Drew McIntyre only gets a 2 count. So he tosses him into the buckles, pounding away at the top of the head, and a snap suplex for a 2 count. McIntyre locks in a grounded abdominal stretch, and he fights up, a whip in, and a kick to the chest, side backbreaker from Drew McIntyre, goes for the over-the-shoulder power slam into a backbreaker for a, not even a near fall, he just goes for it. It's kind of, what it is, it's kind of like an Emerald, wow, long day, Emerald Frozen or Emerald Fusion, depending on who's calling your match. The, Mitsuharu Misawa, the old Emerald Frozen, that is turned into a backbreaker. Actually, Tommy Dreamer used to do it for a while, actually. So, he used to do that version as well. So, but this time McIntyre turned it into a backbreaker, so it looked really awesome. So, a big boot, and he's caught in between the ropes. A big splash, but Ziggler turns it around with a standing dropkick, gets a 2 count out of it. Nails the zigzag out of nowhere, gets the 3. So Slater jumps the knee right as the bell rings. Ziggler powders, begs him off, slides back into the ring, and gets a couple cheap shots in, slides back out of the ring. So like I said, we're probably going to get Dolph Ziggler and Heath Slater tonight. That's pretty sure that's what's going to happen. So we get our next match of the evening, Fandango, taking on the Cape Town Werewolf himself, Justin Gabriel. Gabriel's got a lot of recognition lately for being the reason why Ryback has been hurt. Obviously, Ryback is suffering from a knee injury at this point. So much that he actually gave up a loss to The Miz on Raw last week because of ref stoppage. Because The Miz worked on the knee. Obviously, softened him up for the figure 4 leg lock. Well, this match was pretty much just like, it's kind of a brawl. They kind of went back and forth for a bit. Gabriel had the upper hand, and then Fandango turned it around. Gabriel charges him, and he basically looks like he's going for a tope on the outside. Fandango leaps up and nails that high back kick to the side of the head, and Gabriel is down. He did this to Jericho before, actually, when Jericho was going for like the springboard drop kick or the missile drop kick or the sliding drop kick, basically a drop kick variant. So that's basically what happened, and that laid out Gabriel. He goes up top for the perfect 10, which is the guillotine leg. Long day, guillotine leg drop, gets the pin, so big win for Fandango. Held his own to Sheamus on Raw, and he just kind of walked away from the match. I don't know if he'll be on Raw tonight. I'm pretty sure he will be. Obviously, he has to be a part of both shows this week, given the fact that he is a part of the World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank ladder match on Sunday. So, get that. We get our main event of the evening, CM Punk and Alberto Del Rio. So Punk nails the high running knee in the corner and a short arm clothesline. He goes up top for the Savage Elbow, and of course Del Rio powders to the floor to stop the momentum. So we go back in, shoulder on Del Rio, and a kick to the face for a 2 count. Fireman's carry into the double knees from Del Rio. Wow, long day. Fireman's into the double knees to the arm, actually. He picks him up, Fireman's. It's countered. He's going for the go to sleep. And he gets countered into the arm back into the double knees for a 2 count. The GSK, and the GSK only gets a 2 count this time. So he goes for an arm bar. Punk forearms out of it and a big scoop slam. He goes up top. Del Rio counters with a step up enziguri while Punk is on the top rope prepping for the Savage Elbow again. Gets a 2.5 out of that. Goes for the cross arm breaker. It gets countered. Forearm from Punk and forearms and a clothesline off the ropes. It gets caught. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker from Alberto Del Rio, and Punk gets drop kicked to the floor. So he goes for the go to sleep on the floor. He gets countered. He gets sent shoulder first into the barricade. He tosses him into the ringside announcer's table. Del Rio shoves Paul Heyman to the ground. Punk sees this and proceeds to beat the ever-living daylights out of the World Heavyweight Champion. So, Del Rio gets nailed with a double axe handle. He gets crowned off the table, and he pounds away on Del Rio, and the referee calls for the countout, and we have a double countout. So, he gets sent into the barricade hard. He tosses him into the ring, nails go to sleep on Del Rio after the match is over, and that's how we end SmackDown. What have we learned, boys and girls? Well, it seems to me that the Punk and Heyman train still continues, even though they're sort of starting to branch out slowly but surely, leading towards, obviously, Paul Heyman turning on CM Punk and Punk becoming a full-fledged babyface, which will happen, obviously, before SummerSlam when Punk faces off against Brock Lesnar in Los Angeles. Again, I don't have a problem with that. So, the Usos still getting pushed. Is it the right thing to do? Maybe. The fans obviously want to chant, when I say ooh, you say so. They want to say so, because so is a lot easier to say than what, or no, or yes, or fandangoing. I mean, seriously, push the Usos for that reason. And I'll say right now that I think the Wyatt family gets involved on Sunday. Actually, I almost guarantee it's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen on Raw tonight. There's a lot of directions you could go with this. Like, there's a lot of people you could attack. Like, Chris Jericho has been brought up as a possible attack, because Bray Wyatt had an awesome match with Jericho, and Jericho broke his orbital bone on NXT. That match is awesome. Check it out. And there's a possible chance you could go after Sheamus or Randy Orton. I mean, you could go after anyone. The money is to go after the Shield, but you can't do that right now. You don't want to blow that right away. That's a money match you have to keep in the can for the longest time. So maybe have the Wyatts working with the Shield. Like, the Shield is about to lose, and Bray Wyatt sends Rowan or Harper down to the ring to help Ambrose win, potentially. Anything's possible, really. I think that the Usos and the Shield's match at Money in the Bank will probably involve the Wyatts in some way. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, but I guess we'll find out on Raw tonight. I'm very curious to see what they do with the Wyatt family. This gimmick is not a mainstream gimmick whatsoever, and I don't know how the mainstream are going to take to it, and a lot of things that's been said. I mean, JJ said something about that on Unplugged this week. Basically, it's not a mainstream gimmick, but it's going to be interesting to see how the mainstream takes it. Bray Wyatt is going to be huge in WWE, if pushed correctly. I think Eric Rowan and Luke Harper will be just fine. I think they will be serviceable just to go after the tag team titles. That's not a problem. So, to sick the Wyatt family on the Shield right away seems to be like just giving away something right away. You don't want to do that. You want to ease into it. And I know I mentioned a long time ago about having Daniel Bryan be brainwashed by Bray Wyatt and have him join the Wyatt family. And, you know, if that happens, I can say I told you so. But I honestly... Bryan needs to stay a face. He's going to go heel. I don't want this to happen, even though I see him taking the WWE Championship from John Cena at SummerSlam, if not after that. What I think might happen, I think Mark Henry will beat John Cena on Sunday, and Cena will get it back. I don't know exactly when. He'll get it back on a Raw or something, maybe like a big Raw. Like, Cena wants his rematch on Raw, he gets it back, and Bryan cashes in on John Cena at SummerSlam. And then, after the match is over, we do Cena and Mark Henry at SummerSlam. Cena wins the championship back. Bryan cashes in on Cena and underhandedly beats John Cena. And then at Survivor Series, we do John Cena and Daniel Bryan, with Daniel Bryan as the WWE champion, and have Bryan win with, like I said, if you want to go with it, with the help of the Wyatt family. The problem is, sicking the Wyatt family on John Cena is also something you shouldn't do as well, because big heel group going after the top baby face has been done to death. We've already done it with the Nexus before. So we can't really do this right away. And we just did it with the Shield. So, I mean, a lot of different directions you can go with that. Randy Orton and Christian had a really good match. Really good. A couple botches here and there, but it was pretty good. Building towards them facing off again. I don't have a problem with that. Face and face. If Orton's going to stay a baby face, have the Wyatt family jump him. Or maybe have him jump Christian. But then again, Christian is kind of tied up with the Shield right now, so you really don't want to do that. Caitlyn and AJ continue their feud, and I don't have a problem with that, just as long as I don't see Alicia Fox in the ring anymore. I don't have a problem with that. Dolph Ziggler is single-handedly beating three-man band by himself every week. He beat Jinder Mahal on Raw, he beat Drew McIntyre on SmackDown, and he'll beat Heath Slater on Raw tonight, if I had to guess. So, and I don't know anything about that. I'm just going to go with what I'm saying. Fandango gets a win over Justin Gabriel. And again, I don't have a problem with that. You need to build him. And I think he is definitely one of the only 3 men that could win Money in the Bank on Sunday. I don't know if they'll go with it or not, but they might. Punk and Del Rio had a good match. Went to a no contest, which makes me think you're going to get Punk and Del Rio again. Maybe tonight, potentially? I don't know. Possibly. And where is Curtis Axel fit into this? Where does Dolph Ziggler fit into this? This is really easy to do this. You do Punk and Ziggler team up against Axel and Del Rio tonight. But you don't really want to do that because then Heyman would be peeved at the fact that the Paul Heyman guys have to face off against each other and they're not going to like that idea, so probably won't do that. But that's a good idea booking-wise. So we're going to see everyone in the participants from Money in the Bank on Raw tonight and on SmackDown on Friday night. So we've got that to look forward to. Money in the Bank looks awesome. And obviously Van Dam's not going to be on Raw tonight or SmackDown on Friday. But you got to think someone's going to mention him tonight, given the fact that he's not really been he's been mentioned, but he's not been seen, given the fact that he's not been on television yet. I mean, he may make a surprise appearance on Raw tonight. I don't know. I doubt it, but who knows. I mean, SmackDown's in Maryland tonight. I think it's in Baltimore, so possibly, maybe. That's not far from Michigan, but obviously it's really far from California, so maybe Van Dam's a surprise tonight. Who knows? So it'll be interesting to see what happens with everything tonight. So that would be your SmackDown NXT recap. So if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, retweet them on your social networking. You can tweet me at SirOwenDisney if you want to chat wrestling. You're more than welcome to. You can email me, SirOwenDisney@gmail.com, if you want to ask me a question of any kind. And continue to watch these videos. We're going to continue to make these videos. We'll talk about wrestling again tomorrow when I will be reviewing the Raw from tonight. So until tomorrow, boys and girls, they're coming. And that's all I got to say about that.